Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry I haven't been posting that much. I think I've posted like once in the past like 5 months or something. So, what have I been doing? I have been scaling this store, and I actually exited this store after owning it for about five months, from February to June. Okay, so we did $903,150 in 6 months, pretty much 6 months. And yeah, here's the profit. I don't really care about sharing this stuff. We sold it for a lot more than this as well. So yeah, pretty cool. Okay, so I just want to be as transparent as possible with you guys. I'm going to be explaining all of this right here. Just give me like 5 minutes to explain all of this. But first, I just want to explain the difference between buying and starting stores. There is really no difference. All I'm doing is skipping the testing phase. Everything else applies. I'm still buying, like, the same products that I'm buying are the same types of products that I would be testing, except I'm just skipping the initial phase of like starting a Shopify store, getting an ad account set up, launching the initial tests, getting a winning creative. I'm just skipping that, and I'm paying for my time, basically. That's how I think about it. So we bought this store. I'm not going to disclose how much because I'm still in contract with like the new owner, and that's just no one's business. Okay, but the money I paid for it is basically I'm paying for my time to launch and find a winning product. As you guys know, it takes time to find a winning product. Even the best dropshippers, aren't going to be finding a winning product every single time they test a product. So yeah, I recommend everyone to buy a store if they have the capital. If not, you can get creative and get a creative deal where maybe you don't put up that much up front, but maybe you pay back later as you scale. Or you just continue testing and finding products and starting from scratch. That's totally fine. I've been there before. I've scaled and tested and found multiple winning products starting from zero. So that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to explain all this. Now, this KISS right here is an acronym for Keep It Simple, Stupid. Okay, Tiger Woods talks about this in golf, but it applies to everything in life, business, everything. So it's really not that the game itself, the playbook, the game of e-commerce is really not that complicated. So I'm going to keep it as simple as possible. This is exactly what we did to scale. And I wish I had a screenshot of the first month. January, I think it did like $30,000 in sales total. You guys can do the math per day. It just was not doing well at all. And we were able to scale it very, very, very quickly following this exact structure. So just stick around for literally 2 minutes, probably 2 minutes. Okay. So for product research, why did we buy this store? And also this applies to like this product if I were to test it, okay? So basically it had a great break-even ROAS. I run meta ads, that's what I specialize in. So I really care about break-even ROAS. The break-even ROAS for this product, as you can see, we got a 1.85 ROAS blended from February 1st to June 25th. The break-even ROAS when we bought the store was about 1.45, okay, which is pretty low. But as you can see, I put Supplier right here. The first thing I did was get a quote from my supplier who I've been using for years. Okay, I got a quote, and he lowered our COGS by like $2 or $3, which was just insane. That's a lot of dollars at scale. Okay, so that dropped our break-even ROAS from like a 1.45 all the way down to like a 1.3. Okay, it's pretty easy to get anything above a 1.3 ROAS on Meta and TikTok and Google. Okay, so that's why we were able to scale very quickly at a 1.85 ROAS with a 15% net margin. I try to keep everything at 15% margin or higher. Anything lower than that, not really healthy to scale. Okay. So yeah, the break-even ROAS is great, and I got the quote from my supplier before I bought the store. Pretty easy. And then TAM. Total addressable market. The product we were selling, I can't disclose it, but it is something that can be sold to literally anybody, male, female, any age. Obviously, we have like a core target market. I think it was like 55 plus, maybe 45 plus, but literally anybody could buy it. So the total addressable market was huge. It wasn't like I was selling to people who ride bikes or something. Okay, it was a large total addressable market. You can ask ChatGPT your TAM for each product. You want to sell in niches that have the largest TAM. It's the easiest to scale, and you can scale to the highest. Okay, think about like water bottles when Hydro Flasks were a thing. Okay, Like, they were able to scale so high because everyone can use a water bottle, okay? Like, they're not selling to a specific niche of people. So I always try to have a large TAM audience, total addressable market. Okay, and then the product quality was good. Okay, it's not a terrible product. That's something that when you're buying stores and even just testing products, you want to make sure the product quality is good. Otherwise, scaling just can be a complete mess, right? If you scale a bad product, you're going to have holds, chargebacks, refunds. You can't sell the store because you're selling a bad product. So like, that's super important, and it's something that over the years I've learned. Before when I first started, I feel like I would just test anything on AliExpress, but that's kind of the wrong mindset to have when thinking about long-term scale and exiting a brand. Okay, so that's it. Keep it simple, stupid. Good break-even ROAS, large TAM, decent product quality, good product quality. Like that's it. Those three things. Boom. I was like, okay, I'm excited to buy this store. Okay, pretty simple. You can see we have a T and a C. This is traffic and this is conversions. That is all you need to scale in e-commerce. You need to have traffic to your website, and then your website needs to convert them. That is it. That is it. Okay. So as you can see, I don't have anything under Google Ads and email marketing because I don't do any of that. I just outsource it to an agency. I use Ecom, I think, for Google Ads. I think that's how you pronounce it. You guys can work with them. I'm not affiliated with them at all. Ecom's great. We usually just do a build out with them or work with them for a couple months. They're great. Email marketing, I have email guys that I just connect to all my stores. You guys can find your own email marketers, where you can just DM me on Instagram and I can connect you with my guys. But everything in green is what moves the needle. So product research, meta ads, and then we'll get down to CRO in a second. But for meta ads, again, keep it simple, stupid. What is our goal? Our goal is to increase spend and spend as much money as we possibly can above our break-even ROAS or at our target ROAS. So that is all we're trying to do with Meta. How do we do that? We need a simple campaign structure. When we were buying the store, thinking about buying the store, we noticed that the person who was selling it, the old owner, had a very complicated ad account. Okay, he had a bunch of campaigns with a bunch of different products, a bunch of different SKUs, unorganized, ABOs, CBOs. It was just a complete mess. Day one, the first thing I did was make a broad CBO and put all of our winning creatives in there. And that campaign ran from February to June, the entire time, literally the entire time. Then we added some other campaigns as we expanded to the UK. And yeah, that was, I think we had literally 2 or 3 campaigns. Very, very, very simple. Okay. And then secondly, after we organized the ad account, we started testing 10 ad concepts a week minimum. Some weeks we tested 20 or 30. We started with 10 ad concepts a week because we needed to find winning ads. That is why the person sold the store. They couldn't scale it as high as we did because they didn't have a winning ad. So we knew with our marketing skills that we would find a winning ad. And that's exactly what we did. I think we found a winning ad in our first 2 or 3 weeks. We found a winning ad that really scaled the ad account, and that is still scaling the ad account. It was like a unicorn ad. It just carries everything. Okay. And then we got really aggressive with scaling. So people talk about increasing budgets by 20%, 15%, 10% every day or every 3 days. We did that in the beginning, and then the ROAS was just so good with our new winning ad that we just doubled budgets. So we went from 300 to 600, or 250 to 500, and then 500 to 1,000. And then we just kept pushing that. And then we got to a point where we didn't double it every time, but we started just increasing by $500, $600. And one of our CBOs was at $5K a day spend, and really just scaled our ad account. I think we found a sweet spot around $3,500 a day for that specific campaign, having good margins, good ROAS. And we did the same thing for the other campaigns. So we're scaling vertically and horizontally. That's how you scale an ad account. I can talk about that more in depth in another video. But we were pretty aggressive with it. If things are working, maximize it. See how much you can push the campaign budget. Obviously, spending more, you're going to make more. Okay. So that's it for meta ads. And then I have the arrows here because meta ads fuel Google ads. People click on your meta ad, they click on your website, they leave your website, and then they Google your brand. That's where Google picks it up, okay? So Meta is green because it's needle moving, and Google kind of just captures the audience that's already coming from your Meta campaigns. Okay, and the same thing with email marketing. Obviously, email marketing is you're emailing people that have been to your website, who have purchased before, who have added cart, who have checked out, stuff like that. So Meta ads fuels all of this. Okay, lastly, let's talk about conversions. So once you have this traffic, how do you convert them? Okay, the very first, oops, sorry, okay, I'm back. The very first thing that we did was switch the Shopify theme. So we completely ditched the original theme and switched to Shrine. I'm sure you guys have heard of Shrine. It's very popular. I highly recommend using Shrine. So we just remade the already bad website on Shrine. Like, we wanted to make the Shrine theme good, but we also didn't want to change the variable. So we like remade it in a bad way on Shrine. And then we split tested the product page, which is right here, the Shopify Hero product page. The previous owner had a landing page, and then we made a new one on the new Shrine theme and split tested it, and it immediately boosted conversion rate and AOV. So that was like huge needle moving task we did. Like, I think it was like day 2 of buying the store. Okay. And then unfortunately for this store, we weren't able to get advertorials to work. We think because it was like the pain point, the product just wasn't strong enough. It wasn't that emotional. It wasn't a big emotional problem to have an advertorial for. But I highly recommend testing advertorials for your product, for your pain points and your angles. And advertorial is just like pre-lander to your Shopify page. I definitely recommend testing those. And then we added in-cart upsells to raise the AOV. So, you press add to cart, you have a product in the cart that is complementary to your hero product. And then we had a good take rate on that. Instantly increased AOV by like $10. Again, all like within the first couple of days of having this store. So we lowered the break-even ROAS and raised the AOV like in a couple of days. Makes running Meta ads so much easier. And then we also charge $4.70 for shipping. And unless they spent over like $60 or something, they got free shipping. But that also raised AOV. Okay. And then the last thing we do, which never stops, is we never stop testing offers. So what is an offer? It's what your customer is essentially just buying, but like it might be a quantity break. It could be buying 1, buying 2, buying 3, buy 1, get 1 free. It could be offering an ebook, or offering extended warranty, or just anything you could put into the actual bundle. The offer is the offer. So we tested a bunch of them to find what Alex Hormozy calls a Grand Slam offer. A Grand Slam offer will increase conversion rate and will also increase AOV. You can just go study big brands and see what type of offers they're running. So people get really creative, offering free gifts, free trials, stuff like that. Maybe your upsell product could be your free gift. You can get really, really creative with it. But yeah, always be testing offers. Okay, and the last point here, guys, is this is a flywheel. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. All of this right here is a flywheel. Oops. Where's my pen? This just never stops. Okay, so you're always testing new creatives, you're always increasing spend, and then you're always doing these things right here, testing offers, testing landers. And this just never stops spinning. Literally just a flywheel. And as you learn, things get better. The flywheel moves faster, and you just keep just turning the flywheel and keep increasing spend, increasing AOV, increasing conversion rate, and boom, you are scaling. That does it, guys. Again, keep it simple, stupid.